What's your name?
My name's Cole Swenson.
How old are you, Cole?
I'm 23.
I used to rule the world.
When Cole Swenson stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage, he was the living embodiment of anti-spectacle, a quiet disruption in a sea of orchestrated chaos. In a competition built on fireworks, death-defying stunts, and soaring vocal gymnastics, his presence was almost an act of defiance. He brought nothing with him but a worn acoustic guitar and a palpable stillness that seemed to suck the very air out of the room. The initial audience reaction was a mix of pity and polite curiosity. Another hopeful young man with a guitar, destined to be a footnote in a montage of failed auditions. But this quietness was a deception, a carefully deployed weapon. As he began his haunting, deconstructed version of Coldplay's Viva La Vida, the atmosphere shifted from expectation to awe. He wasn't just singing a song, he was performing an emotional autopsy on it, stripping away its anthemic grandeur to reveal a raw, aching core of loss and regret. The power wasn't in his volume but in his control, in the deliberate spaces he left between words, forcing thousands of people to lean in, to listen with an intensity they hadn't felt all night. It was a masterful illusion. He presented himself as a simple, open book, a raw nerve of emotion. Yet, what the judges and millions at home were witnessing was not the spontaneous overflow of feeling from an amateur. It was the calculated precision of a seasoned artist who understood that in a world of constant noise, the most powerful thing you can be is quiet. His performance was intentionally minimalist, designed to make the audience feel they were discovering something pure and untouched, while in reality, every note, every pause, and every pained expression was a testament to years of disciplined practice, all hidden behind the veneer of effortless vulnerability. This wasn't just an audition, it was the opening move in a brilliant game of perception, and no one in the room had any idea they were already playing. The image of Cole Swenson as a simple grassroots folk singer was shattered the moment one looked past his AGT performance and into his actual background. The truth is, he was anything but a rookie. He was a master in disguise, armed with a secret weapon that gave him an almost unfair advantage. Cole holds a degree in audio engineering, a field that transforms music from a mere art form into a precise science. This isn't a casual hobby. It's a deep, technical understanding of sound itself, of frequencies, compression, mixing, mastering, and the subtle psychoacoustic tricks that make a song resonate with the human brain. While other contestants were focused solely on their performance, Cole possessed the knowledge to build his music from the ground up, controlling every single layer of its creation. His independently released tracks, like Things We Don't Talk About, are a testament to this. They aren't just well-written, they are meticulously engineered. The warmth of the acoustic guitar, the precise amount of reverb on his voice, the subtle layering of harmonies, these are not happy accidents. They are the deliberate choices of a producer who knows exactly how to craft an emotional experience. This technical prowess makes his authenticity a far more complicated concept. Was the raw, stripped-down sound on the AGT stage a genuine reflection of his artistry, or was it a calculated choice by an engineer who knew that a minimalist arrangement would have the maximum emotional impact in that specific environment? He was, in effect, his own producer. Even on a stage as massive as AGT's, he didn't need a team of experts to polish his sound because he was the expert. This revelation recasts him from a lucky talent into a formidable strategist, a one-man music industry hiding in plain sight, using his technical mastery as the invisible framework for his seemingly natural gift. At the very core of Cole Swenson's narrative is the deeply moving story of his mother, Judy, a classically trained cellist who famously gave up her own promising career to raise him. This story was presented on AGT as the emotional centerpiece of his journey, a beautiful testament to a mother's love and a son's gratitude. However, to view it only as a heartwarming tale is to miss the immense psychological weight it carried. This wasn't just an inspiration, it was a profound burden. For Cole, music was never just a personal passion, it was a legacy he was obligated to fulfill, a debt he was tasked with repaying. Every music lesson, every hour of practice, Every song he wrote was shadowed by the magnitude of his mother's sacrifice. He wasn't just building his own future, he was trying to reclaim her past, to justify the career she had surrendered. This dynamic transforms his ambition from a simple desire for success into something far more complex and fraught with pressure. When Judy joined him on stage, cello in hand, it was more than just a duet. It was a public act of reclamation, a symbolic moment where he was attempting to give back the dream she had given up for him. But it also placed their private family history under the glaring lights of national television, turning a deeply personal dynamic into a public spectacle. The weight of carrying another person's dreams, especially a parent's, can be crushing. It blurs the line between personal desire and familial duty, making it impossible to know where one's own ambitions end and the inherited ones begin. His quiet determination on stage suddenly looks different through this lens, not just as artistic focus, but as the intense concentration of a young man trying to balance the unbearable weight of a lifelong debt. While Cole's mother-son duet on AGT became an instant viral sensation, flooding social media with heartfelt reactions and tearful emojis, a darker, more cynical conversation was brewing just beneath the surface. Almost as quickly as the praise poured in, a backlash no one saw coming began to form in the shadowy corners of online forums and comment sections. Skeptics began to dissect the performance with forensic precision, questioning the very authenticity that had made it so powerful. Rumors and accusations, framed as sharp cultural critique, suggested the entire moment was a masterstroke of emotional manipulation. Online sleuths pointed out the perfect camera angles that captured every tender glance between mother and son, the way the show's producers framed the narrative before he even sang a note, and the almost too perfect symmetry of her giving up her cello career, only to return to the stage with him. To these critics, it felt less like a spontaneous act of love and more like a brilliantly executed piece of reality TV strategy. Accusations surfaced that it was emotional bait, a calculated move designed to be irresistible to both the judges and the millions of viewers at home who vote with their hearts. The narrative was, they argued, a pre-packaged story of sacrifice and redemption, tailor-made for a competition where a compelling backstory is often more valuable than raw talent itself. This cynical take spread like wildfire, creating a divisive rift among his newfound fans and proving that in the digital age, even the most beautiful moments are subject to scrutiny and suspicion. To truly grasp the artist behind the AGT persona, one must venture into the solitary world where his music was actually born, the quiet of his bedroom. It was here, far from any stage or audience, that he found what he called a release, a way to channel the complex and often painful emotions that his gentle public demeanor concealed. This private creative process reveals a dark and lonely path to his sound, a side of him that stands in stark contrast to the hopeful figure America met. The most powerful evidence of this hidden side is his independently released album, aptly titled Dear Sadi. The project is a raw, unflinching exploration of a devastating breakup, an emotional landscape filled with themes of loss, betrayal, and the difficult process of self-reconstruction. The lyrics are not the simple, uplifting verses of a folk pop singer. They are intricate, melancholic, and at times brutally honest confessions. The soundscape of the album, meticulously produced by Cole himself, mirrors this emotional turmoil, weaving sparse, echoing guitar lines with haunting vocal layers that sound more like a whispered secret than a song. This is the influence of artists like Phoebe Bridgers, whose work is celebrated for its sorrowful beauty and lyrical depth. By channeling these darker inspirations, Cole created a body of work that serves as a secret diary, one that he chose not to read from on the AGT stage. He understood that hope sells better than heartache. The existence of Dear Sadi proves that the artist we saw was just one facet of a much more complex and pained individual, one who found his true voice not in the spotlight, but in the profound solitude of his own heartbreak. As Cole Swenson's star ascended with meteoric speed, a single, insidious phrase began to dog his every move: industry plant. For a growing number of online skeptics, his story was simply too good to be true, and the industry plant allegations began to surface with increasing frequency. An industry plant, in modern music parlance, is an artist who is presented to the public as a self-made, independent discovery, but is, in reality, secretly funded and managed by a major record label or powerful industry figures. They are designed to mimic the aesthetics of grassroots authenticity to win over an audience that has grown wary of manufactured pop stars. Cole fit the profile perfectly. He had the polished, yet indie sound, the professional-grade music videos for his independent releases, and the viral-ready sob story involving his mother. To theorists, this wasn't a series of fortunate coincidences. It was a carefully constructed marketing campaign. His degree in audio engineering, once seen as a sign of his dedication, was reframed as evidence of his industry connections and technical preparation. How could a truly unknown artist produce music of such high fidelity without a significant budget? How did his audition clip get optimized and pushed by social media algorithms so effectively and so quickly? These were the questions that fueled the speculation. It was said that his entire journey, from his first strum on stage to the ensuing viral moment, was an orchestrated launch, a textbook example of how to introduce a new artist to the world in 2025. While no concrete proof ever emerged, the accusations themselves did their damage, tainting his underdog story with a cloud of doubt and manufactured authenticity. One of the most revealing clues to an artist's soul is their list of influences, and Cole Swenson's choices paint a picture of someone with a profoundly deep and unconventional relationship with music. When asked about his idols, he didn't name the chart-topping titans of pop or rock. Instead, he cited a curated list of songwriters, artists celebrated for their lyrical depth and emotional complexity, such as Joni Mitchell, Phoebe Bridgers, and Lizzie McAlpine. However, the most telling name on his list was the Portuguese artist Mauro, a choice that truly helps in decoding his unlikely musical DNA. Mauro is known for her intricate vocal harmonies, complex chord structures, and a sound that feels both ancient and contemporary, blending fado with modern folk and jazz. Cole's reverence for her goes beyond simple admiration. He described her voice in an interview as being connected to God, a statement that reveals a near-spiritual view of music. This isn't the language of someone trying to craft a 3-minute radio hit. It's the language of an artist who views songwriting as a channel for something transcendent. His appreciation for Joni Mitchell's non-standard tunings and Phoebe Bridgers' brutal lyrical honesty further cements this persona. These artists are masters of mood, creating entire emotional worlds with their music. This explains the unique texture of Cole's own work, the seamless blend of folk intimacy, classical structure, and indie melancholy. His influences show that he isn't interested in following a formula. He is chasing a feeling, a specific emotional frequency that is often quiet, introspective, and tinged with a beautiful sadness, proving his artistry is far more sophisticated and spiritually inclined than his simple stage presence ever let on. Following his viral audition, Cole Swenson was no longer just a contestant, he was a phenomenon. He was unanimously crowned the season's frontrunner by critics and fans alike, the artist who possessed the rare combination of undeniable talent and a story that moved millions. His path to the finals seemed not just likely, but inevitable. And then, in a move that blindsided everyone, came the shocking twist after his viral moment. According to unconfirmed reports from audience members who attended the tapings of later rounds, Cole was eliminated from the competition. The news, which leaked online long before the episode aired, was met with widespread disbelief and outrage. How could the clear favorite, the artist who had Simon Cowell's rare stamp of approval, be sent home? The digital world erupted. Hashtags like Justice for Cole trended for days. Angry fans created video compilations of his performance, juxtaposed with less talented acts who had advanced. Petitions demanding his reinstatement garnered tens of thousands of signatures. The mystery of his sudden departure became a bigger story than his initial success. Speculation ran rampant. Did he have a falling out with the producers? Was his quiet style ultimately deemed not commercial enough for a Las Vegas show? Or did the industry plant rumors cause a backlash that made him a liability for the network? The show remained silent, allowing the controversy to fester. His shocking elimination transformed him from a feel-good story into a modern reality TV mystery, a martyr whose potential was seemingly cut short, leaving his legion of fans with nothing but questions and a lingering sense of injustice. In the final analysis, the story of Cole Swenson becomes a fascinating and complex puzzle, a narrative with two conflicting faces that leaves us questioning everything we think we know about authenticity in the modern age of entertainment. On one side, we have the image presented on stage, the humble, soft-spoken folk singer, a devoted son whose pure, raw talent moved a nation. This is the Cole Swenson who represents the enduring power of a simple song, the underdog who triumphed through sincerity alone. On the other side, a more complicated figure emerges from the shadows, the masterful technician and calculating strategist. This is the Cole with an audio engineering degree, the meticulous producer who engineers his own sound, the artist whose every move from his song choice to the tear-jerking narrative of his mother could be interpreted as a deliberate play for the audience's heart. He is a living paradox. Was he a genuine soul who just happened to have the perfect backstory, or was he a brilliant marketer who understood that in today's world, the most effective brand is one of flawless authenticity? The truth likely lies somewhere in the murky space between these two extremes. He is perhaps both the sincere artist and the savvy strategist, a product of an era where art and commerce are inextricably linked. His journey forces us to ask a difficult question. If an artist's performance is engineered to feel authentic, does that make the emotion it evokes any less real? Cole Swenson's story is not just about one singer's rise and fall, it's a mirror reflecting our own complicated desires for stories that are both true and perfect, leaving us to wonder if we can ever really have both.